A flight attendant denied two young black twin girls access to the first-class restroom. Just 10 minutes later, their father, a powerful CEO, took a bold stand by grounding a $1 billion IPO. What started as a quiet act of discrimination quickly exploded into a major business and social reckoning. Before we dive deeper into this story, drop your city or country in the comments and let's see how far this message spreads. Stay with us to find out how a family trip changed an entire industry. Zara and Zuri were 10-year-old identical twins, full of life and always polite. Their bright smiles and matching denim jackets made them easy to spot, but it was their joyful energy that filled the room. The family was on a long-awaited trip, flying first class to celebrate a weekend getaway. Their father, Elijah Ward, was no ordinary traveler. He was the CEO of a tech company preparing for a $1 billion IPO. Yet, dressed in jeans and a hoodie, he blended in with other passengers, focused only on spending quality time with his daughters. Little did they know, this trip would soon turn unforgettable. Zara and Zuri approached the flight attendant with quiet confidence. "May we please use the first-class restroom?" they asked politely. The attendant glanced at their tickets but then shook her head firmly. "That restroom is for premium passengers only. You'll need to use the restroom in the back." The twins looked confused. They were sitting in first class with their dad. Without arguing, they quietly turned and walked back to their seats, their faces showing disappointment. They said nothing, but their discomfort was clear and their father noticed the sudden shift in their mood. Elijah Ward's expression stayed calm, but inside, he was steeling himself. He didn't raise his voice or cause a scene. Instead, he pulled out his laptop connected to the in-flight Wi-Fi and began typing a message to his legal team and board. He knew his power extended beyond the boardroom. As a father, he was ready to take serious action to protect his daughters and send a clear message. This was about more than just a restroom. It was about standing up against disrespect and unfair treatment. Elijah sent a clear, firm email to his legal team and board of directors. He instructed them to pause the $1 billion IPO immediately, citing the airline's discriminatory behavior toward his daughters. This wasn't a decision made lightly. It risked billions of dollars and investor confidence. But Elijah knew some things were more important than profit. He demanded that the airline address its internal bias and prove it could treat all customers with dignity before moving forward. The stakes were high, but so was his commitment to justice. Within minutes, the story started leaking to investors, then spread quickly through media outlets and social platforms. The airline's executives were caught off guard, scrambling to contain the fallout. Phones rang nonstop, urgent meetings were called, and damage control efforts began in earnest. Social media erupted with support for the twins and criticism of the airline. What began as a quiet moment on a plane had now become a public crisis, putting enormous pressure on the airline and reshaping the conversation around corporate accountability. As the plane landed, Elijah stood outside facing a crowd of reporters. Calm but firm, he said, "If my daughters aren't treated with respect at 30,000 feet, then no company connected to that behavior will rise on my watch." Inside, the flight attendant who refused the restroom looked on, regret growing as her face appeared on news screens worldwide. The media quickly framed this as more than one incident. It was a spotlight on systemic racism and the need for respect and dignity for all passengers. The story sparked a nationwide conversation. The IPO remained grounded for weeks as the airline scrambled to respond. They issued a formal apology, but Elijah made it clear that words were not enough. Real change was demanded. The airline overhauled its diversity training, making it mandatory for all staff. They created a new executive role, Chief Equity Officer, to oversee fairness and inclusion at every level. Policies were rewritten to prevent discrimination and promote respect. This incident transformed the airline's culture, proving accountability is more than a statement, it's action. Zara and Zuri may never fully understand the impact of what happened, but their dad stood up for them in a way the world could see. This story sends a powerful message. Black children deserve dignity everywhere, with no exceptions. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments, and let's discuss what respect should look like in every place at every moment. Because respect is a right, not a privilege.